In this week's episode, we visit the rolling hills of central Scotland, where we explore an amazing wee graveyard before we get on the trail of some very soggy Scotty dugs and say hello to Concorde. But first, we're off to Glasgow. We are in Glasgow, where we've been running round Queen's Park, which is hilly, but very nice. So now we're going to go for a wee look at the charity shops. And after park run, we went for a coffee in that church, which is quite impressive. Do you want to go and have a wee look at the carvings? I'm going to show you them anyway. Oh, this would be a great field for zoomies, De Niro, but I think it's, no. We don't usually do zoomies in public parks, just in case he zooms off and doesn't come back. Here, you know, children and people playing and people out for a quiet walk do not want an inquisitive greyhound sticking his nose in their pockets looking for biscuits, do they, De Niro? And there's more of that gym equipment that you never see anybody using, ever. This is the Baptist church and it's very, very ornate. If you look at some of our cathedrals and their abbeys and they've got really nice carvings and stuff, well, this is up there with them. There's the winged angel thing up there, and then there's this above the door here. It's really cool. And a lot of the buildings in Glasgow are this really nice sandstone. If you look down there at all the tenements and that other church spire, it's all this really nice stone, which was manky a few years ago. But Glasgow is a city that is definitely on the up. It's all been cleaned up and it's looking quite impressive. And that is a heavenly rock and roll band. There's guitars, and the one on the right is obviously the singer, and the drummer is at the back somewhere, because drummers just hang about with musicians. On our phone again, I don't know. Young people today.
Through doing our park runs, we've realised that Glasgow is very well off for some beautiful parks, and they're particularly nice in autumn when all the leaves are changing colour.
Yeah, but not quite so nice because they're mostly on hilly bits where they couldn't build houses.
They're still nice though.
They're still nice, they're just a bit hilly.
We just don't like running up hills.
Nobody likes running up hills. Yeah, some of us don't like running up hills or down hills, or just running mostly. We use Google Maps to find charity shops and look at all those red dots. This could be quite good. All of these parks are still here because they were some rich man's private garden, and there's the rich man's big house, and there's the view that he would have had of trees and prettiness in the middle of Glasgow, which is not a very pretty place in a lot of bits. Some of it's very nice, some of it's not so nice. Because you have to remember, back when some rich gentleman was living in that house, Glasgow was a tremendously industrial city. There would have been soot and stour and mess from the steelworks and the docks and all sorts of unpleasantness. But the rich people got rich, and even the poor people did okay because they all had jobs. And now, as I said before, Glasgow is definitely on the up. Bex is having a wee dance. This is Bexy's charity shop dance. She stopped doing it now because she realises I'm filming her. Go Bex, go Bex. Glasgow is a city with some really nice architecture, like that old sandstone building there, Camp Hill Gate from 1906. So there's a traditional Glasgow pub over there called, somebody I can't see, Coronation probably. And there's the shed, which looks like it might have been an old dance hall. And there's people having an argument, and another old church. But wait till you see this. This is the Langside Hall. No idea the history of that. There's nothing to tell you what the history of that is, but it's quite impressive. This city has got some of the best architecture. It's just amazing. I really like the serious looking gentleman just up there. He's got a lot of, there's 5 of them across the front of this building. That is so smart. And look at the carvings at the top there. Right, I'll shut up about carvings now. This is the shed, and it's where they keep all their greenery fit. Because look, it has a lettuce stance for lettuces. I'm sorry, that was terrible. I thought it was funny. And here's our traditional, not very salubrious Glasgow shopping street. But in front of us, I can see cancer research. The first thing that I see is one of these little pop vinyl things that I kind of collect, and £10 second hand, that is not happening. Okay, let's see what delights Glasgow has got for us. Somebody's got rid of their collection of these things. Oh, what a shame. Oh, nice, a basket for something.
That is a
basket. Is it? Oh, okay. Yes. This is probably a bit inexplicable at the moment, but I will show you what this is for. I am buying myself a ball of wool because I'm not using Bexy's valuable stash for me to make another disaster. And another disaster, yeah, I'll show you what happened yesterday. While Bex is doing all the clever knitting and crocheting, I have been set a task. I have to make a pom-pom. Now, I'm sure this can't possibly be that hard. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. Let's see how this goes. I hope you appreciate the effort that I'm making for you, and no, you can't eat that. Right, you've got to wind the wool into a little ball. De Niro, De Niro! Are you after my wool? When you see other people's examples of this, it looks so neat. Mine looks like the dog's already chewed it. And if it all goes completely wrong, this will never see the light of day. De Niro, can you try to look a bit less excited? This is the moment of truth. Yeah, I didn't film the next bit because it all went wrong, but it ended up on the floor and I ended up in a big huff. I spy the PDSA shop. Are we going to go across to the PDSA shop, or is that a silly question? I'm going to try and waffle the whole way across just for the extra content. Are we going to edit this bit out? What do you think?
Edit it.
Edit it? No, I think I'll leave it in. People listen to me talking all the way across the road just to fill time. I think, yeah, we'll just leave that in until we get to the PDSA shop, which is just here and I've run out of breath. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like, well, Halloween. That could be the dog's Halloween hat.
You can't expose it before Halloween.
Sneak preview. A massive chicken head. Some cat ears for the dog. No. Slim Pickings. Elton John, Jim Morrison. Oh, that's quite cool. The Cuddly Toys. Never heard of them. Oh, Barbara Dixon. Every man in Scotland had a thing about Barbara Dixon about 40 years ago. Oh, but check out this. The Billy Graham British Crusade Choirs. Not buying that. Cake tin set of 3. That might be a thing. And out the PDSA, and over there is the shelter shop with a Ferrari going past. We'd rather have the charity shop than the Ferrari. That's a Bex waiting to cross the road. That's another very, very cool and quite intricate building. Very nice. We do like Glasgow, as I said. Next up, the shelter shop. This is quite a big shop. This is going to be quite good. I hope I say that a lot. Ah, no, it looks like it might be a designer charity shop. Ah, a bit posh. Oh, Bex, look.
Pajama trousers.
And in this shop, Bex might be buying 3 rather nice blouses, and I'm definitely buying a little witch's hat for De Niro.
Look what I found. I think we need that for Daisy.
Definitely. Right, if we don't get run over, it's Bernardo's and the hospice shop. And if we do get run over, it'll be a charity for people that have been hit by a car. It would take a lot to top Slim Whitman, not even Shirley Bassey, but look at this one that's fallen down here so I would notice it. Sexist 60s, Bird of Paradise, Wout Steenhouse and the Gondikis. But there's also the Alexander Brothers, Bonnie, Scotland. Look at those fine gentlemen. Right, next up, it's the hospice shop, where Bex goes on to disprove the theory that you can never have too many books, because she's got quite a lot of books. And I found this really rather cool and very reasonably priced leather waistcoat. Unfortunately, although the waistcoat said it was large, it wasn't large enough. Boo. Oh well, onwards and downwards. We're not being very efficient with our time and motion because we've crossed the road about 5 times. Anyway, that is the Shaw Trust and that's where we're going next. Right, and this is the last one for the moment because it's time to go and find some breakfast. This is the Shaw Trust. As well as having some amazing furniture and some very reasonably priced bits and pieces, this place has got an amazing record collection, so let's go and have a wee look and see what we can find. Oh, it's another 1960s or 70s young lady with her cleavage out hanging from a tree. Just what you want. That brings to your mind Sing Something Simple, but better than that, how about a bit of Hammond organ? I'd love to know how that actually sounds, but I'm not going to buy it. This is quite an artistic little shopping centre. It's got people in there doing stained glass, which is nice, and it's got the art villa and the picture framer, and it's got a big charity shop. Guess where we're going. And this is where we really weren't paying attention because we walked around this charity shop and we did our little bit of filming and stuff, and when we were looking at the footage we saw those 2 glasses, the 2 Christmas glasses, and we both said, did you notice those? Well, if I'd seen those I would have bought them. Believe it or not, yet more Hammond organ. How popular was the Hammond organ back in the 60s? I am always really jealous of anybody that can play those instruments. Yep, I've got terrible pianist envy.
You're not putting that in the video.
One a bit. And on that frankly terrible note, we are now off to Clackmannanshire because we are aware this episode has not yet had a graveyard, so off to Clackmannanshire to visit Tullibody and their amazing graveyard. The next googling of the word ruins has brought us to Tullibody, which is a nice wee village. The actual church that's in use is behind me, and it's in use today because it's Sunday. But what we're going to look at is over there, and I'll show you in a second. Oh look, there's a bell. Let's go and look at the bell. You've got to look at bells, that is the rules. I'm going to go out on a limb because that church does not have a bell tower. That bell has got Tullibody 1858 written on it. I'm going to say that came from the church over here that we're going to go and look at. More warnings about things falling over. So this is Tullibody Old Church yard, I guess. Yeah, must be Tullibody Old Church over there. Tullibody Churchyard here. New church there, new graveyard over there. So yeah, now we've got that straightened out, let's go for a wee look. Hello, Mr. McClay. Again, there's some really nice oldie worldy tombstones here. Memento Mori, 1764, 1764, 1769, 1780. We do love this stuff. I hope it's not getting boring, because I like talking about it, even when I don't always know exactly what I'm talking about. There is a design here that I've not seen anywhere else, another thing for us to look up. But you see this sort of pointy thing there? If you look at that one there, if you come over here, there's another one. This one is just more crudely carved, but it's the same shape. I wonder what that was. That's something we have to find out. Obviously, we know what a skull and crossbones is. And in amongst all the skulls and crossbones and things, there it is again. It's the same shape. I've no idea what that is. It's a mystery to me, but we will find out. If any of you guys know, or have got a good guess about what that thing is, that shape, please let us know, because over here there's another one. I've never seen this in another churchyard, and I've seen about 5 or 6 while I've been here, because there's this one down here as well. And that's from 1747. And over the road from the old church there is another church. I'm guessing that'll be for another faction of the Church of Scotland, the Free Church and all that gubbins. And there's another one of those long, low gravestones. That one, that's got 3 layers written on it, so there's three sort of burial bits under there. More skulls and crossbones over there, and let's see if we can actually get into the old church. I'm guessing probably not, but fingers crossed. Give it a tug. Nope, it's locked. Oh well, there you are. That's as close as we're going to get to the inside of the church. But if you look down, there's always people having their takeaways getting to these places, no problems. We're just far too law-abiding. That one would once have been quite imposing. That's John Simpson and Elizabeth Marshall. 2 layers from 1830. This is a really interesting cemetery. The cemeteries here are actually different to other ones we've been to in Scotland. It's amazing how different little areas have their own practices and their own look, like these long low tombstones and that funny shape. You don't see anywhere else, or we've never seen anywhere else. As always, I was looking for Commonwealth war graves, if there's any war graves here. This cemetery is probably a bit old, but over in the corner over there, that looks to me like the War Memorial, and as Bex isn't here, we can go for a wee look. And then right behind where I was just talking to you, here's Private Murray, who died in 1920, age 42. He was quite an old man by the standards of the time. Lots of people died at 17 and 18 in the First World War. I just love ones that look like this. I'm going to have to stop now, because this is just going to be a video full of gravestones, and that's not very interesting for you guys to watch. We may one day do a 2-hour-long mega mix of tombstones of Scotland. Even if the only people who would watch that would be me and Bex when we were editing it. Yeah, I really, really like this place, as well, as you probably noticed. This is obviously a much newer, ergo less interesting bit, but the War Memorial is, I think, over in the corner. There's certainly a cross and some stone plaques, so it could be a war memorial, it could be to a mining disaster, it could be a number of things, so let's go and find out. Our curiosity will be satisfied. Oh, and that's a wee bit of history. That's a site of the old priest's well from 1905. If you want to know why Clackmannanshire and Alloa and this area is so affluent with so many nice buildings, for that what we need is a wee bit of history. This area sits on top of massive coal reserves that were heavily exploited during the Industrial Revolution, and that and the availability of wool from the local farms meant that the textile industry was huge in this part of the world and was a major source of prosperity. Alas, it's all long gone now, but if you look round you can still find some traces of this industrial past. Oh no, this is neither of the things that I thought it might have been. It's not a mining disaster and it's not a war memorial. This is the private sort of corner for the foresters of Tullibody House. So they must be the local landowners, because there's Gertrude Pamela Carlyle, daughter of Hugh and Emily Forrester and Forrester, lots of foresters here. On this very nice peaceful corner of the churchyard. Well, peaceful apart from me talking loudly. But they're probably quite glad of the company. I bet they don't get many visitors. And over here we have another victim of the Great War who died in 1919. So he made it home, medically evacuated probably, and then died after the war had ended. And you're quite fortunate. I haven't done the dead centre of town joke or said people are dying to get in here, so consider that a lucky escape. And yes, for long time watchers, we've been doing these videos for a fair few months now, and I've started to recycle all the old jokes, so you will get them all again. And this isn't a war grave, but it is, well, I think it's interesting. There's Margaret and John, who both died in their 70s, and their son John, who was a sergeant in the Royal Air Force, who was lost in a raid over Germany, and he's buried in Holland. I'm only exploring this place because Bex is running and I had no idea it was so interesting or so pretty. I hope you're finding it a bit of both. And it's time to head back to the van, give De Niro a biscuit and let's go find somewhere else. And on the subject of biscuits, if you'd like to buy De Niro a biscuit or if you'd like to support the channel, we do have a Patreon and we have Ko-fi, and the links are at the end of the video, but I'll try and get the technology right to put them here. So if you'd like to support us, chuck us a few quid for our adventures, we'd really appreciate it. It's Patreon support that paid for our fluffy microphone. That means you can hear me when it's really windy. Whether being able to hear me is a good thing or a bad thing, I'll let you decide for yourself. And for the next little part of this episode, unfortunately we've left the nice weather behind. Bex and I are out for a run. We're up near St Andrews and we're on a very soggy Scottie search, and the reason we're running is we want to go and find some Scotties, and also because I think we're a bit mad. And this is number 2421 and it's raining quite a lot now. This one is called Flower of Scottie. Hello little chap. These are so cute and so well done. I hope wherever you are you get trails like this. We've had a few. We've had Oor Wullie, we've had cows, we've had polar bears, with all sorts of trails. So there you are, this is part of the Scottie Trail. And there's some more of that gym equipment that you never ever see anybody using. But given the fact that this is torrential rain, I'm not really surprised today, so I'll let them off. You find all the Scotties using the app. Unsurprisingly, everything's got an app these days anyway. So the app says that the one we're looking for is at this railway station. So let's go and see if we can find the little dude. And thankfully, there he is there, right next to a little bit of shelter, which has been a bit in short supply so far today. He is so cool. He's called the Flying Scottie, and he's called that because over there used to be an RAF station, and its name was, well actually I'm going to let you figure out what its name was. I'm going to go and find the sign for the railway station. And there you go, that is where we are. Good luck trying to pronounce that. And having ran 5 soggy miles from St Andrews, it was now time to run 5 soggy miles back. Unfortunately, there was no choice. Bex is off over there somewhere. She is such a better runner than I am. Yeah, struggling. That is the very expensive, but not very pretty, Old Course Hotel, which means we're almost back at the car. Voice over, or you can't hear me. Well, that was wet and windy and horrible, and it made me miss the summertime, or even a few weeks ago when the weather looked a bit more like this. So let's head down south and back in time, and join up with me and my friend Richard when we took our little road trip due south. Today I'm going to the Aeroplane Museum, which should be quite interesting. Well, for me anyway. But don't worry, I'm not going to witter on and on about various different types of aeroplane, because there are lots of different types of aeroplane here, but we're going to look at one very interesting and very pointy one. Ooh. Do you want to see inside a helicopter? Of course you do. I'll just fall up these stairs. So there's Richard down there, trying not to get his photo taken. And there's where the driver sits, and lots of buttons. And yeah, this is quite cramped and quite noisy, and not a good place to be if you're getting shot at. This aircraft that we've just been inside is actually, one side is painted for the Royal Navy, and the other side is painted for the Royal Air Force, and it was used for search and rescue by both the services. This is quite cool. It's like a self-assembly aeroplane. It all folds up into a little thing so they could fit it onto the aircraft carrier, obviously. And up there, that's a bit of quite a famous one. That's a bit of a fairy swordfish that was obsolete by the start of the Second World War and still in use at the end of it. This is a Grumman martlet. Are you paying attention? I hope you're keeping notes. And it's a very fetching colour of like turquoisey green. I can't think of anything else interesting to say about it. It's yeah, it's an aeroplane. And over there are a lot more aeroplanes. And over there, guess what? It's an aeroplane. As well as a museum, this is also an active naval air station. So there they are, moving a helicopter. How exciting is that? And over there, that is a Lynx Wildcat, which is not moving. It's got lots of people standing around it with their hands in their pockets. So being in the Navy is a bit like any other job. A lot of time standing about doing nought. Oh, don't worry, we're not going to miss this. I have no idea what it is. The skewer's an aeroplane, I'm guessing. This is pretty cool. This is wreckage from a German bomber, a Henkel, that was shot down by skuas of the Fleet Air Arm, and one of the skuas was also shot down, and both aircraft crashed close to each other, and the surviving aircrew ended up hiding in or sheltering in the same little building. So the Germans and the British were put together by necessity, having just shot each other down. That's quite funny. Well, in true Scotland on a shoestring style, we're lost. We're trying to find our way up, and we just came through a fire exit. I think we're going the right way now, but the arrows say we're not. Oops. Okay, I'm not going to escape, so it's fine. And if you want to have a party, there ain't no locker like a fire party locker. Right, here's something you've got to recognise. That is, of course, Concorde, which is very pointy as a greyhound, but probably not quite as fast. Richard's flying an actual Harrier. He's so excited. It is an iconic shape, isn't it? That's a very rare underside view of Concorde. Now, this one was never actually in passenger service. This was like a development aircraft, but we'll go inside. You go in for a wee look, and it gives you an idea of how big it is outside, with massive wings and huge engines over there, and how small it actually was inside. Right, Concorde time. I wonder if there's anybody in it. Let's find out. Let's go for a wee look, as I say. Oh, flight of stairs. You know what that means. Fast forward. Right, so here we are inside Concorde, and this was a development aircraft, as I said, so it's got loads of stuff that is not in the actual Concorde. But there's the seats. If you want to get a seat in a Concorde and have your dinner, that's where you'd be sitting. As you can see, it's not hugely high, and also, to be fair, not hugely interesting. And down here there's something you definitely don't have on an actual service Concorde. There's an escape hatch in the floor, so if you need to get out in a hurry, that is how you get out in a hurry. So yeah, there you are, that is Concorde. What you do get from up here is a really good view of the sort of shape of the wing, which is quite interesting. And yeah, I can't make it sound any more interesting than it is. It's Concorde. So yeah, it's another Sea Harrier from the Falklands War, Concorde, and another Harrier, and a helicopter, and a prototype Harrier. This area is very Harrier heavy, I think you find. But there's Concorde looking at us with its pointy big nose. This particular Sea King is quite interesting because it was damaged by Argentinian fire in the Falklands War, and then it was damaged in both Gulf Wars, and then it was damaged in Bosnia, and then it was damaged in Afghanistan. This helicopter has been shot at by an awful lot of different people, and still managed to have a 30-year career, so well done, old chap. And Richard is adopting the role of Bex, sitting at the side, looking bored and wondering where the cafe is. So I think we should go and find the cafe now. Should we go and find the cafe now?
Yeah, find the scone.
Scone! Right, you guys are discerning, learned individuals because you watch this channel, so you tell us, is it a scone, which it obviously is, or is it a...
There is no thing, it's a scone.
It's not a scone, it's a scone.
It's a scone.
It's a scone.
Scone.
These English people and their funny languages, eh? Gee. And of course, once again, you exit via the gift shop. So let's see if there's anything here that we don't want to buy. Oh yes, there's nothing here that we want to buy. Aeroplane models. I could buy some aeroplane models to go with a vast collection of unbuilt aeroplane models that I've got at home, but Bex would definitely kill me. And that was a very quick look inside the Fleet Air Arm Museum. Actually, for us it was a very long, detailed wander about, but I've edited most of it out. And to finish off this week's episode, as promised, we're going to show you what we did with those little bits of pottery we were picking up at Preston Pans a couple of weeks back. This is not from Preston Pans, this is actually from Kirkcaldy, and this is what they call a kiln stilt. It's used to separate plates when they're getting fired in the kiln, and there are thousands of them on the beach at Kirkcaldy, and they're perfect for what we use them for. So let's drill a hole in it. Underwater, diamond burr drill bit. Let's do this. Sometimes they go through quite easy, other times it's a bit of a challenge. And that's it done. It's got two little holes all the way through. Now one of these holes has to be made bigger. The hole at the top is where the string's going to go to hang this mystery object from once it's complete. So there you are, that is one done, only about 100 more to go. This is the stuff we collected at Preston Pans. I've got to pick 4 pieces of this and a pot. So that's the bits I'm going to be working with just now on the first production of this year. And after a fair bit of drilling, that is it drilled. So what do you think it's going to be, if you haven't guessed already? Let's give you a little clue. That's the top, then that's a branch, and that's a branch, and that's a branch, and that's a branch, and that is the pot. And now decisions, what bits to use for this year. The filming of this has not gone at all to plan. It's really hard to film something while you're working on it and not get in the way, but there it is. It is a Christmas tree made out of sea pottery. Production is in full swing. They don't make very good earrings, but I suppose they might. If you'd like to buy one of our lovely little Christmas trees, they're on our Etsy shop, and I'll put the link here. A link should have just appeared, I hope. We ship internationally, and if you'd like one and you get to the checkout and use the code ZOOMY, you'll get 10% off. And now, with Christmas coming, it's time to head back to the beach and find some more raw materials. We are back in Kirkcaldy. We've done the park run, which we've shown you all before, and now we're going down to the beach. De Niro is looking forward to this, and the weather is a bit ick, so hopefully it'll be nice and quiet. De Niro's back on the beach. And the beach has changed a lot since the last time we were here. Well, that concrete block wasn't there, so the sand must be at a lower level. Let's see what treasure we can find. Well, there's lots and lots of pottery here immediately. But I won't bore you with an hour of us picking up bits of pottery, because what sort of person does a video that's just, oh, we did when we first started. Right, De Niro, do you want to go and check and see if you can find any pottery for us? Oh, look at him zoom. Look at him zoom, he's off. Too many smells. De Niro, you're supposed to be doing a zoomy. Too much to sniff, not interested. Oh, there we go. A minor bit of zoomy. He's not really that interested. There's too much going on, and he's like, nope, don't want to play. Oh, that's a big chunk, isn't it? That's the Kirkcaldy blue colour. But this one you can see a little bit of pattern. That's really nice. Well done. Not doing a beachcombing video. We'll show you at the end what we find, and then we will show you what we do with it. It's always cool when you find something and then you're like, what could I use that for? Probably nothing, but this is an interesting piece of quite old wood with various holes drilled in it. Okay, it's just a manky bit of old wood. We're leaving that there. Once again, there's nobody about, so let's let De Niro go and find his mummy. he's had a zoom and now he just wants to go for a wee slow walk. De Niro's found something really cool. Look at that. De Niro's found a marble. We used to get so excited about these when we first started beachcombing, and now we're like, yeah, marble. And desecrating our good kitchen, this is the collection of stuff from today. And that's it for this week's eclectic episode of Scotland on a Shoestring. We do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe and all that gubbins, and we'll see you soon for more. De Niro, do you like a bit of yoghurt, do you? He's got it all over his face. Yum 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 yum.